Hello everyone, welcome back to DeFiRL podcast, your wormhole from TradFi to DeFi. Now Brad, today we're having someone in the middle, right? In between TradFi and DeFi.
Yeah, man, a lot of tension going on right now in this room.
Yeah, a lot of tension. But yeah, welcome back in general, Ross.
Hello, it's good to be back.
Yeah, so I mean, just want to shout out, we recently hit, I think, 1K subs on our
Yes,
pod.
indeed, well
and
done.
then 600 or 700 of that responsibility, Ross. But of course, he left us, so kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. But where did he...
But here I am, back again.
But where he left for is what we're going to talk about later on in the podcast, right? But for those of you all who want to learn more about Ross's crypto journey, right, you can actually check out, we put the link in the what's it called?
Cards and the description.
Yes. The cards, so it's up, right?
Up.
Yeah, the cards, so that you can learn about how he got into crypto and his first foray and how he was skeptical about Bitcoin until he wasn't. So, but today we're going to talk a lot about your journey in crypto so far. And one thing that obviously you would have made money in crypto, but you know, that's boring, right? Everyone wants to hear about the fancy side of things.
Yeah.
But what I find your journey very interesting is it's normal to make mistakes, but you in particular, you were very, very okay to publicize your mistakes.
Vocal about it, yeah.
Very vocal about it. And I believe that there have been 2 times, to my knowledge, and there's more, correct me if I'm wrong, there's been 2 times where you have actually publicly talked about these mistakes.
Yep.
So the first one, we're not going to mention the name, and without revealing the information you don't want to reveal, what was your learning lesson from this one? Because I know this was quite a big thing, and ETHs were lost, right?
Yep. So I think just for the context of those watching, hi, my name is Ross. It's great to be here. Thank you so much, guys. I'm currently the Community and Education Lead at Luno, Malaysia. The journey getting here has been a very colorful one, to say the least. I think when I first started in crypto, it was right somewhere as the bull run was really taking off, right? And that's a terrible time for an investor because everything is very like, go all in, everything you want to invest in and make as much gains as you can, as fast as you can. And I wasn't really ready, I think, mentally for that. So I was looking for, fast ways to make money and stuff like that, which isn't always the best way to go about it. I got introduced to crypto via a platform that a friend recommended. It seemed all right. I mean, my friend had done some due diligence. I also checked it out a bit. It seemed okay. It wasn't like super regulated. It wasn't like super fishy, somewhere in the middle. So I put in my first Ethereum there, I put in my first purchase of Bitcoin there, and it was sort of like a bot trading platform. So it would trade your crypto for you, and then you'd get profits every week. So it was going well for about a year, and then boom, suddenly people can't withdraw their money and can't withdraw their crypto, and what happened, and then it just blew up, right?
Yeah.
Long story short, investigations are going on. It seems like some people in the company had stolen some of the crypto and have gone into hiding. But again, I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty. I think what I usually focus on is the life lessons that I learned from it, right? As an investor. And this is important because I think a lot of, as you mentioned, people are always so caught up in the gains that they always forget that if someone's making money, probably another 10 people are losing money, right? We never hear their stories because people are often too ashamed to talk about it. But I think I'm not too ashamed. I think it's important that I educate people. And as an educator myself, I don't want people to make the same mistakes I did. I want them to learn. So number one, if there's anything that has, I don't know why, but if anything has an sort of like an MLM Ponzi structure, you have to be very careful, right? Oftentimes you have to ask yourself, where is that money coming from? Right? Now, there are some legitimate MLM businesses which actually sell proper products, like good stuff and all that. And if you're happy using them, great. I'm not saying all MLMs are scams. Unfortunately, many scams use the MLM structure because that's the fastest and easiest way to get members. So you have to always be careful when you're dealing with one of those things. The second thing, I think most importantly, is whether or not it's a regulated and a licensed platform. That's the number one, right? When I first got into crypto, nothing was really regulated, right? Regulations were still pretty new and nobody really cared. They want to just make money, right? You don't really care about where something is registered. And so this platform was registered in some random island somewhere, and that was a red flag, but I ignored it, and then it was to my cost, right? So nowadays, I tend to lean more towards platforms which have more regulations, which have more licensing. because it gives me a lot more security and a sense of confidence when I invest my crypto, my money into those platforms. So I think those are some of the life lessons that I took away. One is like, just be careful of the structure of the company, right? And secondly, if it's regulated or licensed. Thirdly, if you can, to really like investigate the company, do your due diligence.
Yep.
So I know DeFiRL guys, for example, something I love that you guys do is that you actually go and visit companies and talk to the founders or the CEO and all that. That's something that I don't see other people doing, right? And I think that's really good because then you get to see in real life what actually is going on. And that's sometimes you can't do that in crypto. Sometimes everything's online. I mean,
and then during COVID, hard
exactly,
to
during COVID, you can't really travel. You can't do as much due diligence as you would like to. But that's something I think it's important. Whether it's online or offline, due diligence is extremely important. It's something that Luno and my manager at Luno has always emphasized to me, right?
Yeah.
When someone contacts me, the first thing I should do is check their LinkedIn, check their website, do all the links go to the proper pages.
You did that for us also, right? Before we invite you on board.
Exactly. So, well, I mean, I know you guys, so that there's trust there. But for anything new, anything that's trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
And especially trying to tell you that, you can make lots of money in a short period of time. Those are the ones that you need to be careful of. Yeah.
So, I mean, to summarize, one is to always do due diligence on the team and to try and avoid MLM structures.
Well, more towards the Ponzi kind of things, where the money that's being generated, it's either coming from new investors or they're not transparent about how the earnings are being distributed. And in the case, that I lost, some people were actually siphoning out crypto in some way.
That's crazy.
Right? So that was a problem, right? I can't prove it. There's no regulation.
It's an ongoing thing.
It's an ongoing investigation. So we're still waiting for auditors to update us and, see how it goes. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, are you comfortable sharing with the amount that was lost?
So, in some ways, I took a bit of safety where I had some Bitcoin and some Ethereum, right?
Right.
And the first Bitcoin I ever bought was there. First Ethereum I ever bought was there, right? And I had withdrawn my Ethereum because I told myself, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, right? I always like the proverb, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I took out my Ethereum and I invested it elsewhere. And that's another nightmare of a story. I'll come to that later. And then I left my Bitcoin there. So I'm okay sharing it was about 0.17 Bitcoin, if I remember.
Right. Okay.
Give or take a little bit.
So this was at 30K, 20K, something like that?
Wow. I can't remember exactly what price I bought it at.
Okay,
right?
sure.
I try not to think about it.
Sure. Okay. Right.
Because then I'll
asking.
feel worse. But I just put it in my mind that, that was the tuition money I paid to teach myself an important lesson. I can always make back money that I've lost, right? I always have that. I try to inculcate that positive mindset, right? I've lost it. Yes, I'm sad. I get over it. I build better, right? So about 0.17 Bitcoin, which I lost in that particular issue. Yeah.
Wow. So I do know that more recently that there have been another one, and this is actually somewhat, you say somewhat similar, like ETH trading bot as well. So I guess if I can put myself in the minds of the listeners, right? Okay, so here's Ross realizing that this previous one was a mistake. It was also trading bots, right? Why go into trading bots again?
Good question. Okay, so a few things. I live quite a busy lifestyle, right? Even to set an appointment to come today was really quite a challenge. I had to go back and forth, timing, dates and all that. I'm quite busy, right? And so I don't like spending a lot of time monitoring my investments. Right? I know things like value investing, and yes, you look at all the numbers and stuff. But I generally use robo-advisors more often, like Stashaway, for example, because I don't want to spend time, looking at numbers, looking at charts. And so when crypto bot trading is available, I tend to lean towards that because to me it's not as high a risk, right? If the bots are coded well and they're running, with low risk values, it's easier because then I can sleep and earn money, right? Without having to monitor the market and study this and look at that. So that's one of the reasons why. The second reason why was the first platform, I didn't know who was running the platform. The second one was a friend of mine who had personally was managing this a fund where people were investing money into this bot, and then the bot trades and then earns Ethereum, right? And it was going well for a year, right? Again, 1 year, no problem. And then what happened was during the market crash earlier this year, can't remember which month it was.
It must have been the February.
I think it was the February crash. Now, when the market goes down, the bot actually does well, right? Because then it can buy it at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
In a sense, right? Just to give a brief explanation, it goes down, buys more, goes down. But the problem was the market crash, it went down too far beyond the bot's limit and it got liquidated, right? So all my Ethereum, which I had invested into the bot, got liquidated. Unfortunately, it was a very painful sum of 5 Ethereum. Very painful. Can you imagine one day you wake up and boom, 50,000 just gone like that? I was like, wow. I was numb. That was numb, right? So, and it was painful because the first one already lost Bitcoin. Second one lost my Ethereum. I was like, oh my gosh, so unlucky. On the other hand, if I try to, what I do is reframe the way I look at things, right? I think my background in psychology helps me a lot, especially in the area of self-compassion. So I try to find ways to show myself compassion in a difficult circumstance, right? Which is out of my control. Market forces are out of my control. In this case, nobody stole my money, right? My friends were trustworthy. The problem was the market just crashed. And, beyond my control.
The bot couldn't handle it.
The bot couldn't handle it. And it was at the lowest risk setting already. So it was just a black swan event. That's what I was looking for, right? So unfortunate. But it happened. So now that my money is gone, what can I do about it? I tried to reframe the way I thought about it, that I do take profits here and there. So let's say the bot was making money in this month and this month, I would then withdraw those profits and place it elsewhere. And so when I looked at it, I was like, okay lah, I mean, I did lose 5 Ethereum, but I gained 1 Ethereum, approximately 1 Ethereum in profit. So my losses are maybe 4 Ethereum, right? And then to make myself feel even better, I was like, I bought that 5 Ethereum when Ethereum was like 300 USD.
Oh, so you really only lost maybe 10K. Or
so 5. I'm trying, like, I try to reframe my sorrow in a more positive light, so I don't feel bad about it. Because feeling bad about it doesn't in any way help me grow from that experience, right? And so that's what I try to do. So if you've made money, take profits. If you've made losses, feel sad for a while, go yamcha with your friends, complain about it if you need to, get it out of your system, and then reframe your mindset around it so you can grow better.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just share a story of mine. So I think I bought a token as well. I think at one point it was a 17x. Then it dropped to today it's a 4x. But I said, hey, still a 4x.
Still 4x, yeah.
Still 4x,
Still 4x, yeah. So I lost 5 Ethereum, but I gained 1 Ethereum from the profits. So, and if I look at the price of Ethereum and it goes up, technically, at the buying price that I went in, almost break even lah. I think if I didn't really calculate it lah, but I feel less bad about it. But it's still painful lah, 5 Ethereum gone like that. I was like, oh man, I could do so much more with it.
So I was just curious, like how, so you say you were numb. Do you share this with your parents? I'm sure they saw your Facebook post, right? Did they ask you about it and things like that?
So I talk to my father sometimes about crypto and stuff like that. My parents are not so like, I mean, they're not into crypto much lah. They don't really understand technical stuff. I might share in passing, things that I share on Facebook, my mother can see, for example, because she uses Facebook, then they might ask me about it. Then I tell them, it's okay. This is my life. I'm an adult. I'm responsible. And I always try to balance my risk, right? So I do put a lot of money in crypto. Then I do try to have something that's non-crypto related to balance. So for example, I might have EPF, right? I might have Stashaway. I had some stocks in the stock market, right? And so when some investments were going down, I made sure that my stocks in the stock market were equal to that value in crypto, so that should anything happen, I have some money in ringgit that I can cover. Yeah, and that did happen during the market crash, right? So I needed to sell off some stocks, cover some areas of loans and all that, and so I try my best lah to diversify the risk.
Right. Yeah. Your questions?
I'm just curious, right? So after all these experiences that you've encountered, you've gone through in crypto, how's your strategy like now? Let's say when income comes in, right? How do you go about investing?
Excellent question. So I told myself, I've made money. I've also lost money in crypto. I've lost a lot more than I've made, I think, or maybe break even. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But I told myself for the past 3 months, I haven't bought any crypto. Not a single bit, right? I've been taking my salary, and I would say 80 to 90% of my salary, I've just been putting away as savings. So the reason why is this. I hosted, for Luno, I hosted a 6-month series of women in crypto.
Yes.
I've got to give some context and then I'll tell you why 3 months I haven't been buying. So one of the speakers for women in crypto was a lady, Miss Shahira. She was sharing about financial planning. So she's a licensed financial planner. So she can give financial advice, I can't. And she was sharing about how when you invest, like let's say you get your income, your salary, right? People sometimes make the mistake of investing their savings into investment. That's the wrong mentality, which I was doing. I was taking my savings money and putting in investment as if that's my savings. That's wrong. Savings is like the most liquid thing in your bank account, which you can liquidate like tomorrow. Like I think you were the one, I think I posted on DeFiRL channel on Instagram, like liquid is when someone's holding a gun to your head and you
a
can
ransom.
A ransom, right?
Yeah.
Someone's holding you for ransom. How much money can you get immediately, right? That's liquid,
yeah,
right? So that should be your savings, your emergency savings, your funds, whether 6 months or 12 months, whatever it is. I was using that money to go and invest. And then if I make losses, then I was like, oh, my savings is empty. So that was my problem. So I told myself, okay, I need to restructure what I'm doing. I think that's good advice that she was sharing with all the ladies and other people as well. So I was like, okay, for the next 3 to 4 months, I'm not going to buy any crypto. My goodness, it was tough. Really tough when you see so many things happening. But no, I was very disciplined.
Right.
So I put all that money into my bank account, savings account. I didn't like, I mean, I do want to consider other things like maybe money market fund just to earn a little bit of interest. But for now, I just very strictly save. And then once I've got 6 months worth of emergency savings, then my income, I will partition into investing.
Okay.
So I need to now partition savings away from investment so that they don't get mixed up. And so that's kind of the approach I'm doing now, is building that emergency fund first, keeping that safe, and then extra money. Okay, now I can invest here.
I think that's very underrated as a approach.
It is,
because
yeah.
I mean the idea of crypto is, I mean, you start off being, maybe people will say buying Bitcoin, Ethereum is very conservative, but once you go down the degen rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
What is savings, bro?
Exactly.
A bank account.
People, it's so easy to spend money in crypto. It scares me sometimes.
Yeah.
You click a button and your money is gone, you know?
Yep.
And I think people, only when they make losses, then they're like, oh,
yeah, there's
shoot,
such a thing
I
as
need to be
risk,
careful. Yeah, exactly. The echo chamber of everybody's making great gains drowns out the noise drowns out the news that people are making losses.
Very true.
And I think that's important.
I think you use the right
people to
word,
know.
like echo chamber.
The echo chamber,
You only
yeah.
hear the same things over and over.
Yes.
Or in Twitter's case, you only see the tweets that
that
says
people
the same
reshare because they're all the positive tweets,
Yep,
right?
yep.
yeah, hopefully Elon does something about it, to be perfectly honest.
Hey, man,
Well,
I have to say that is a potential blue ocean market for you guys, to be honest, because the idea of personal finance just hasn't existed in a lot of this crypto degens yet, because a lot of them are way younger than us, to be honest. Those have really made it. We shared stories about 20-year-old millionaires, right? Flipping JPEGs and whatnot.
correct. Yeah.
Congrats, you made it, but I think there needs to be some responsibility. I'm going to sound like a boomer recommending this to them, right? But I think if a nice framework were to be introduced by Luno, anyone out there, hey, great market there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of Luno,
Yes, we'll talk about Luno. But so here's where I want to, I wouldn't say a challenge, but I do want a question on this.
Yep.
So you mentioned savings and all that, right? My question is, why not stable coins?
Okay. I'm okay with stable coins in general. Like stable coins, for those of you watching who may not know, a stable coin is a type of crypto coin which is pegged to a fiat
cash,
currency.
it's cash.
It's
It's
cash.
cash
It's
like
kind of
that.
like cash, but digitalized, right?
Yeah.
So I do have some stable coins which I keep. In Malaysia, unfortunately, there's no easy access to stable coins because Luno, although we are regulated, we don't list stable coins on our platform in Malaysia.
Right.
We actually have stable coins listed outside of Malaysia.
Yeah.
But due to the regulatory framework in Malaysia, we don't yet have permission to list stablecoins. And hopefully one day, when we work with our regulators and Bank Negara Malaysia, Securities Commission, I look forward to the time when we can list it for people as a way to diversify their income. But at the moment, it's a bit challenging in Malaysia.
Yeah. Challenging, but not impossible.
Not impossible. There are many ways you can get stablecoins.
Right.
But I would just say, be cautious as an investor. Stablecoins do come with their own risks. Sure, they may be lower in some ways. I often tell people like, okay, let's say, for example, the USDC coin, right? One USDC is equal to $1 US. What if the US economy collapses? Then what happens?
Right.
Stable coins sound great until the fiat currency it's being backed by collapses. And it's kind of ironic if you think about the philosophy of crypto, which was to get away from fiat currency. But now I'm using crypto to peg to fiat currency. Wait a minute, what's going on here? right? There's a little bit of an irony there, which I think, I don't know whether Satoshi Nakamoto is turning over in his grave now, thinking that, oh no, my technology, which was supposed to free people from the system of fiat, is now being used to enhance the system of fiat. It's neither a bad nor a good thing. I just thought it was a bit of an irony, and I point out to people who tend to use stablecoins, and like, okay, just be careful that, there is always risk in any investment.
Yeah. Hey, that's an interesting point, because Brad and I talk about this all the time. And one of the big trends, and a lot of crypto natives will hate this, but one of the big trends that's happening right now is that crypto is becoming very fiat-like. It's becoming very TradFi, right? I mean, just 4 years ago, stablecoins was 1% of the market. Today it's like 15%.
Exactly.
And, they were always blaming that, hey, a bunch of guys are controlling the financial system in crypto.
Yeah.
And then we're like, not in crypto, in traditional banking or whatever. Then you're in crypto, they're like, whales. Like, why do we have whale tracker bots? What's so important about that, right?
Exactly. On Twitter, whale.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so anyway.
Yeah.
So I think we can, before I go on Luno, I think just to end off, right? In your experience, and also through your observation, right, what would you say are all like since you're in psychology, what are some of the heuristics that someone can have, right, when going into crypto to avoid, not necessarily mistakes. Mistakes are hard to avoid, but like scams or rugs, essentially.
Yep. Yeah, I think a heuristic, I don't have a specific one in my head right now, but maybe something. Just sort of like in general context.
Yep.
I don't claim to be a professional psychologist lah. I mean, I did study psychology, but half of what I studied has now left my brain.
Oh, but you just finished your master's, right?
I did my master's at UM in educational psychology. Yes, I did. Focused a bit more on the numbers side, but in terms of general psychology, I think there's that wonderful book which I'm trying to get my hands on, The Psychology of Money. I think that's really good. Yes, very good. So I'm going to get my hands on that soon. And I think one of the things, at least in my personal experience, is that this idea of greediness, for lack of a better word, like I really want to make money quick. And I can see other people doing it. And in the pursuit of doing it, I forget all the risks. It's like you become blind to the risks, right? And I think that's one of the biggest pitfalls when it comes to investing in crypto. Like I said, like this echo chamber of, oh, everybody can make it. We are going to make it. Some people are going to make it. Some people are not going to make it, right? Not everybody can make it. That's life. But nobody says that. And I think when you surround yourself in that echo chamber of, we're going to make it. Yeah, just go all in, bro. And I think that ends up with more losses than gains. So, yeah.
Do you think that you'd still do trading bots, given that you've had two bad experiences?
So fun story. I'm actually trying to learn how to program and code. Very small steps that I'm taking. I met someone in a Monash who actually uses the Luno API to code a trading bot. Wow. And he told me like on good days, he can make a certain percentage of profit just from the bot trading. And what I like about that is because it's emotionless, right? Investments should be boring. If your investments are making you excited, you're not investing, you're gambling, right? That's what I firmly believe in now. And using the bot, takes away all the emotions out, and it's on a regulated platform like Luno, using the official Luno API. So it's a lot more safer as an environment, right? Luno's not going to run away with your money. So I'm still open to the idea, but now instead of trusting other people to do it, I am trying to learn how to do it myself.
Okay.
So I think that's one thing that I encourage anyone in the space to do, right? When I read about smart contract exploits and all that, I want to be able to read a smart contract one day. And I can tell myself, okay, I can see that the code here is good. The same way that you go and talk to founders of companies, right? Okay, I think this founder is telling the truth, or I think they've got a good business model, right? Yeah. You have to be the one to do it yourself, not just listen hearsay from others. And in crypto, we often just read a Twitter thread and we think we know it all. And that's one of the pitfalls is that information is so quick and so short in bite-sized information that you miss out on the gigabyte-sized information which is behind the corner, which is more important for you to know. So I'm trying to learn about how bots work. I'm trying to code my own bots. I actually did. I didn't code a bot, but I managed to code on Python how to buy and sell on the Luno exchange in my account. Ooh. And it was like magic, right? I was coding on my computer and my Luno account is moving. It's an incredible feeling. And I think the more that I learn, the better I become as an investor as well.
That's so cool. I'll let you ask the first question about Luno.
Yeah.
No, tell us more about... I remember you were... Well, if you guys scroll back to the first few videos, you see our...
Yeah.
Guys
my hair there.
Right? Yeah. Can you tell us about your journey from back then Firo Crypto to now DeFiRL and to Luno? Tell us what was the thought process behind it?
Yeah, so I think my journey in crypto started when I first learned it from a friend. People then started asking me. I wanted to teach others, so I was doing like Zoom stuff. And then FiRL approached me, we chit-chatted and said, why don't we put something together for a channel? We did Instagram, we did YouTube. Then we started sharing those videos out, and then Luno took notice, right? I actually signed up to become a Luno affiliate. So that was nice. You know, I get a special code and all that, made me feel a bit more special. And then I wanted a full-time job because at that time, in the middle of COVID-19, I lost my income, right? I couldn't work as an entertainer and magician as I had always been working as. So I lost my income. I wanted something stable. I wanted to build back my finances. And so I was applying to crypto companies, and Luno was one of those choices, right? I applied to several, but finally I ended up at Luno. And I think what worked out in my favor was that with FiRL, we built a portfolio of videos that till today, people message me on Instagram saying, hey Ross, I saw your videos on FiRL. Do you have anything that you can recommend for me to watch and see? And it's such a nice, warm feeling to know that those videos that we shot last year and all that, till today are still having an impact on people. That's a wonderful feeling. And then, you know, one thing led to another. Doors opened for me at Luno. They offered me a job as the community and education lead. And so that's where I am. And I'm trying to build a little bit more in the space in terms of educating people about what is crypto, what is Bitcoin, stuff like that, how to buy it in a safe way. And also to engage the community, right? So I do a lot of community events, webinars and stuff like that. And hopefully this year we can ramp things up even more as COVID-19 restrictions are coming down. Hopefully we can also open up and do more events. Yeah.
Okay.
So, so one big project of yours was this whole women in crypto thing, right?
Yeah. So when I first joined last year in September, my manager was talking like, you know, there's not enough women in crypto. It's all guys. Everywhere we go, it's just guys, right? Yeah. Even today, right? Just 3 guys, right? Where are the ladies in crypto? They are there, but they're small in number. So we need to encourage more women to come in, right? So what I did was I launched a 6-month campaign. Every month we invited a female speaker to talk about one of the topics in crypto. And I did a market survey. We got some information from the ladies. What topics do you ladies want to hear about? You know, financial planning, how to do trading, how to make crypto part of your lifestyle. That was really interesting because there was this lady, Sheila. She was the first person in her family to learn about crypto and bring it to the family. Not her husband, not her children. Now that's very rare. Usually it's the guy and then the guy brings it home, you know, to the girlfriend or the wife and all that. She was the first one. And she brought her husband into crypto, playing games and GameFi. She brought her children into crypto through NFTs. And so she shared her story and it was wonderful. She writes blogs and earns money in crypto. And so women got a chance to listen to these stories and see that, you know, crypto is a space for both guys and girls. Everybody is welcome in crypto. It doesn't discriminate. Right, so that's one of the things that I tried to emphasize for the past 6 months. So that's project is over. I still do want to have a Women in Crypto series, so we're going to renew it and maybe come up with some different angle, maybe different language or whatever. But what I'm really looking forward to is this. We want to launch an education program, right? What I realize is that, see, people say, the number one problem I find in crypto is that people come to me and ask me this one question. Where do I get started? What do I read first, right? And they just don't know where to start because crypto is still very new to them. And so I'm coming up with initiatives, right? One of them is, for example, I want in every state in Malaysia to train educators, like 3 to 5 educators, basically like myself, cloned a few times in each state to go and be like the Luno educators of that state. So if someone comes to me from Perak saying, you know, mana saya nak belajar tentang Bitcoin, I say, jangan risau, Encik kita ada seorang cikgu, Luno educator kita, pendidik Luno dalam Perak, ini office dia, whatever, and then they can go there and
tuition.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, like, yeah, tuition would be a good example.
It's interesting
right?
how you used Perak and then started talking Malay.
Yeah, well, you know, we are trying to localize, so Luno is translating everything into Malay. So, you know,
sorry, go on.
No, but you brought up a very good point. That it was the second point I was going to say. The education project that I'm working on. So I've got about 9 to 10 educators. I'm training them next weekend. We want to teach them so that they can go and teach others, right? Right now, people, I think, when they encounter something new, the best way to learn about it is from a friend, from someone you know, from a real person. Articles online, they're great. YouTube videos, they're good. People tend to watch them, but sometimes they don't take that extra step of action until they feel comfortable, like, oh, my friend's doing it. Okay, I'm going to listen to what they have to say. That's how I learned about crypto. I read things online. I couldn't understand it until a friend sat down on Zoom with me and explained it. I was like, oh, now everything clicks into place. Yeah, so that's one of the projects I'm working on. And since you brought up language, we are also translating the Luno app into BM. So our followers will be very happy, Bahasa Melayu. And we also want to equip educators to teach in Bahasa Melayu. In fact, I'm trying to get Mandarin, Tamil, Bahasa Melayu. We want all the languages, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to reach people at the mass market level.
Actually, it's interesting. I think was it the Luno Malaysia or the Bitcoin Malaysia? I can't remember. The Facebook group.
Yeah.
All the questions are in Malay.
Yeah, so in Luno Malaysia, for example, many questions are in Malay because that's where most of our customers are. They speak Malay. That's what they're familiar with. And I have to improve my Malay because my Malay is not fantastic. It's okay. It's very rojak. But that's kind of what the community likes that, right?
Malaysian.
Hey bro, apa saja boleh, right? So I started talking like that, even though it's not formal Malay.
Yeah.
But that's where their level is. That's what they enjoy listening to. Now they call me Abang Ross. They call me Abang Ross or Admin Ross, you know. And it's nice because I think I forged that bond with them, right?
Yeah.
Even though everything is just online, I feel connected to the community, and the community obviously feel connected to me as a community leader. So that's wonderful to see. And I just hope to continue growing it from there. Yeah.
So I want to ask you this, right? I understand it's very important to spread the ideas of crypto to a mass market.
Yep.
And I think educating is a very noble attempt. But to what extent would education have to stop before it reaches a financial advice kind of point per se? Because crypto is an asset that goes up and down in value, right? So how do you feel about this?
So that's a very, very tricky line, I think, between what is education versus what is financial advice, right? So actually, fun fact, the Securities Commission actually mandates that cryptocurrency exchanges, right, they encourage us to give financial education, right? Cryptocurrency related education, right? We are strongly encouraged to do it. It's part of our KPIs. If we don't do it, it's actually part of the licensing that we apply for. That's why we really push very hard on education. So how I draw the line is this. If I'm telling you, buy this or buy that, buy at this price, buy at that price, that's financial advice. If I, however, am explaining what is Bitcoin, where does it come from, what is it used for, that's education. I'm teaching you to understand something in depth versus I'm telling you buy now, sell now, or use this or use that. Yeah.
Got it.
Wow. So speaking of regulation, right? I know one of the big things that people like to... So, you know, the Malay community is very nice on you. But the English-speaking community is not so nice.
Yeah. They can give me a hard time sometimes.
It's so thanks to us. No, so you know, for those listening for some context, I think everyone like to ask you, right?
Yeah.
When are new coins coming onto Luno? Now, obviously you cannot say... Obviously, I know that there are things happening behind the scenes and you cannot say what coins are coming. And of course, for people outside, the perception of Luno is, oh, they only have 5 coins, right? We have this app that rhymes with Rhinance, right?
Oh, I wonder what that could be.
Right? It has like thousands of coins.
Wow, thousands.
Wow.
Yeah. Are they regulated?
Yeah.
I wonder.
So it seems like pretty obvious, right? And of course, from Luno's perspective, they'll grab the beginners. But once people are like, hey, like it's like so many other coins, they start. Let's just say they start buying XRP, right?
Yep.
So, but I want to give our audience a sense of, I know in order for you to get a new coin listed, you need to talk to SC, right? And that process can be quite long, and there's a lot of paperwork involved, a lot of convincing involved. Without obviously revealing sensitive information, paint was what exactly that challenge is.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is it challenging?
Yeah. I think it's. I'll try and tackle this by using an analogy first. How long does it take to build a house? All right. How long would you say on average? How long does it take to build a house?
Question. Say if it's a normal terrace house, build a house.
China did it hospital in 5 days.
Well, yeah, China can do a lot of wonders in 5 days.
I would say 6 months.
6 months, right, to build a house. Maybe even longer. Maybe let's say conservatively about a year, right? You need paperwork done. You need to get the bank loan. You need to get the equipment. You need to get the right contractor. You need to get the approval from MBPJ to build a house. You need to get in my lorong where I stay, one house is being renovated for the past 1 year. They still haven't finished yet.
And that's renovation.
Right? And it's just renovation, not even building yet, right? So I think people in the world of crypto, things move very quickly. And so there's very little patience when people come.
Yeah.
They want development to happen at breakneck speed. But that's not the way that systems are built, right? Systems are built in layers and in processes, just like building a house, right? It takes time for things to happen. And so I hope people also understand that, when it comes to listing new coins or new features and all that, it has to go through that regulatory process. Yeah, it can be a bit slow, but Luno is always working with our customers' best interests at heart. We know customers want new coins. We want to give you guys new coins as well. We really, really do. And if there's one point that I can emphasize is that when people comment about us on Facebook and say mean stuff, I really, my heart goes out to them because I really want them to know just one thing. People who work at Luno are crypto people too, right? We are on your side, right? But we're working within a framework to ensure that we're regulated. That's what sets Luno apart from other platforms, right? We are regulated. We're here for the long run. We're here to stay. Do you know that Luno is audited? All our crypto is audited. Our reports are audited. You can find it online, right? I can give you guys the link. Can you name me the biggest platform of crypto that shows its audit reports? You'd find it quite hard to find, right? If at all they do reveal, right? And so that's one of the strengths I think that Luno has, that we want to be accountable to regulators. We want to be as transparent as possible to provide the mass market the opportunity to come in, right? Without regulations, you're not going to get the mass market in. Investment banks are not going to come in until crypto is a less wild west and a more regulated financial system, which I know can seem very anti-crypto philosophy, right? Which is meant to be decentralized.
But it's actually changing already, by the way.
Things are changing, right? Things are changing. Yep. Yeah, so I give the example of this, like DAOs, right? Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Can you name me a single DAO that is fully decentralized? Better yet, can you name me a single DAO that's fully autonomous? I haven't met a single one.
I think that the whole concept itself doesn't even work in theory.
Exactly, but people throw it around like as if it's the pinnacle of decentralization.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, it's very centralized in many ways, right?
It needs to be, actually, to
it
get
needs
things
to be,
done. Yeah.
Exactly. To give another example, recently in one of the group chats, someone was trying to send Ethereum from a certain platform to Lunos, right? And they used the wrong network.
Ooh.
And their crypto is burned, right? It's gone, right? They can't access it because if you use the wrong network, your crypto is inaccessible, right? Technically impossible to retrieve. Now, here's the thing. That's a problem because of the way blockchain works, because of the way wallets and private keys work, right? In a centralized system, if you send money wrongly with your bank can reverse the transaction, which goes to show that in some cases, decentralization isn't always the answer. Not everything has to be decentralized.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be taken to the extreme, like decentralization is always the solution. Not always. Sometimes using a bank and using fiat currency and transferring money in a normal FPX transfer or instant transfer, do it now, is sometimes a better option, right? So I think people need to also remember that there are benefits to having regulation. There are also benefits to having decentralization. On Facebook, I tend to, there are some people who tend to comment on Facebook and they always talk about the bad points of view of regulation. But I would like to challenge them to also consider the good points of view. Right? As a teacher in psychology, I teach my A-level students to do a type of essay known as evaluative essay. An evaluative essay isn't just sharing your biased point of view. It's learning to force yourself to consider the pros and cons of any point of view.
Yep.
Right? There's always benefits and there's always weaknesses. You have to be willing to consider both. Right? And if you just preach one side of the coin, I think that misses out on the bigger picture.
Right. Yeah. So I get that we need regulation. In fact, even though we are in DeFi, we do believe regulation actually will help DeFi. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
But I just still want to try and understand a little bit more. Like, what is SC looking for in terms of getting a coin listed?
I don't personally know every single criteria that the Securities Commission use when it comes to approving coins which are listed. Currently, there are 5, right? So there's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. These are the 5. We are working on getting a few more approved. In general terms, I can say this. We usually want to look for coins and approve coins which have a good track record, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum are the 1 and 2, right? You can't go better than that.
Yeah.
So good track record is really good. Have a lot of... what's the word I'm looking for? Use case is one way of thinking about it. It's like a lot of people use those coins for a variety of reasons, right? We can't be listing out a random coin that was created by a 5-year-old, yesterday, right? That doesn't make sense, right? Even though other exchanges may list it, right? We will not be listing it because of the incredible volatility that those coins experience, right? The 5 that are currently listed in Luno, there is some volatility, but compared to a coin like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, the volatility is much less, right?
Yeah.
So again, the regulators have the interest of investors at heart. Again, investing in crypto is so easy, right? One makcik put their life-saving 50K into Luno, and let's say if they unfortunately bought a random meme coin and it dropped the next day or rug pull, their life savings is gone, man. So we want to list coins that hopefully don't go through those kinds of situations, and that's why we tend to list major coins, right? Coins which have good use case, coins which have a good track record, stuff like that. Yeah.
Question?
No, so I want to know, you mentioned down the line, right, a few more coins will be listed. And I think that's great. I think offering options and having Luno to first vet through the options first is very important.
Yep.
Not everyone is like a DeFi degen that goes through white papers and all that. So the machiks are pachiks. At least you want to make sure they buy into the right coins.
Yep.
When those come along, right, what other options would there be available in terms of use cases on Luno? Things like staking, maybe not LP yet.
Yeah, I can share a bit about that. So Luno outside of Malaysia offers a form of staking. We call it like the savings wallet, where you can actually put your crypto in there and you can earn an APY.
Kind of like Celsius or BlockFi.
It's similar to Celsius, exactly. You earn an APY on that, and it exists in Luno outside of Malaysia, but it doesn't exist in Malaysia. And people have asked me why. The reason why is because our regulators have not yet given us permission to offer this feature. Now, again, we are always working with regulators. It does take time for these things to get approved, and we're working on it. And hopefully, when the industry is matured and when our regulators are willing to allow us to offer this feature to Malaysians, then we can. But it is already available in Luno outside of Malaysia at the moment. But fingers crossed, hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll be able to offer features like this in the future. And honestly, to me, the future of crypto is very bright, right? It may be a bit slower when it comes to regulated exchanges, but it is still very bright. There is so much going on, right? Next year, there may be, I don't know, staking 2.0, some special
DeFi
staking
3.0
or whatever, right? So there are so many things that are happening in the space, and I look forward to the future. Luno will hopefully be there to guide the mass market into the space slowly and securely as possible.
What's your wish list of coins?
Wish list? Oh man, I don't have a wish list. So I'm a very conservative investor. Like I love Bitcoin and Ethereum for 2 reasons. The most of all coins, right? Bitcoin, purely for the narrative. Like the more I studied Bitcoin, the more I read about Satoshi. I actually went to those forums, right, where Satoshi first wrote about Bitcoin and, talked about it with people in the industry and all that. And I remember reading this thread that put it into perspective for me. 2 things. One was that there was no marketing team in charge of Bitcoin pumping money to do advertisements anywhere. And yet today it's worth, close to $1 trillion, if not more, right? That's incredible, right? That's incredible. Most companies today spend millions on their marketing budget to get good slogans, taglines, posters, videos to get sales, right? Bitcoin did it, you can almost say, all on its own, through nothing more but the effort of an incredible community behind it. To me, that's a wonderful story. That narrative is very enthralling, right? People don't really like Bitcoin because you can't do much with it. And I understand that narrative as well. But I liked it because without Bitcoin, we wouldn't have everything else. Bitcoin was the pioneer in that journey. And to me, that's one of the reasons why I like it. Other than the fact that, the technology is interesting and, it revolutionized the world of decentralized finance. And then Ethereum, obviously, because of its use case, right? Ethereum is, I still think, the top used coin in the world, right? Especially for developing applications, decentralized apps and all that. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are still my favorite. I don't really have a wish list of coins because as an investor, I try not to get too attached to my investments, right? My investments are there to make me money, right? They're not there for emotional or sentimental feeling, even though I know I just shared, an incredible narrative of Bitcoin and all that. So, but yeah, I try not to get caught up in coins. I try to get focused on, is this actually useful? Use case,
So now I want to talk a little bit about working at Luno, right?
Sure.
Inside the company. From the outside, it looks pretty cool, but maybe give us an idea of what's it like if someone were to apply for a job,
Yep.
yeah, what can they expect?
Yeah, so Luno is actually hiring. We're actively hiring several new positions.
Yes.
I think in general, life at Luno is quite fast-paced, right? You have to be you're working in crypto, right? And I think we're kind of like startup to medium company size, right? You have to be able to adapt to change quickly. I think that's one thing I've learned at Luno when I joined in September, and the amount of stuff that I've done till today, webinars, education, community events, regulatory requirements, announcements, posts, working with an international team, because Luno is an international company. We work with our international counterparts in different countries, and all of that coming together every week, right? Bi-weekly, we have meetings with the rest of our country, our rest of our teams around the world. Weekly, we have updates with our own team members in Malaysia. We're always looking to push new things, help people better, serve people better, put the customer first. So I think working at Luno is that fast-paced kind of environment. It's a very startup kind of feel. You have to wear multiple hats, right?
Yeah.
So I don't just do education, I do education and community, right? My marketing manager, she handles so many different projects, right? And all of us are trying to work together to bring the mass market into crypto, right? So Luno's mission is to put the power of crypto into the hands of everyone, right? Or in Malaysia's case, into the hands of every Malaysian, right? That's my mission and my goal at Luno as well this year.
Right.
So if you work at Luno and you feel like you really want to bring that power of crypto to everybody, come, please, and apply.
I know there's something really cool about, like, there's like you guys have lunch in the cafeteria. Right?
Yes.
And it's something very unique.
Benefits.
Yeah.
So I can share a bit about that as well. I'm glad you brought that up. I was getting very philosophical suddenly. Let me give something
You
concrete.
gotta give you some money for selling Luno. Man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
sure, we can work that out. So I was going to say that at Luno, if you go to office, right, you can claim we have a lunch budget. So you can order a Grab food, for example, and we have a lunch budget we can claim against. Now, you can only use this budget under the circumstance of you come to the office and you socialize with everybody there. So it's meant to encourage our social well-being, right? And I think it's a wonderful initiative, right? You don't just buy and then you go and watch Netflix in the corner alone. That's not doing things the right way. And in Luno, we have one of our core values to get it done right, do the right thing at the right time, even when no one's watching. And so that's one of the reasons why I like going to office sometimes, right? I get to enjoy a free lunch with my colleagues. We get to chit-chat, joke, talk about life. And that's really nice. It's one of the benefits of working in Luno.
What's the limit for the voucher?
Currently, we are... Not sure if I'm at liberty to say that out loud in public.
There's a range.
I'll give you a range.
What can you buy?
Okay. I'll give you a range because I'm not sure if I can disclose the exact number, but it's enough to buy a meal and a drink. Right, we wanted to give everybody a budget that's basically, it's enough to buy lunch.
Well, give us your most recent lunch.
Yeah. What's your
okay.
Best
So one of my
out.
favorites, I'll tell you one of my favorites. I like two things a lot. Three things. One is fishbowl kind of thing. It doesn't have to be fishbowl brand. It can be Itomo or whatever other brands. I'm not paid to advertise them, but I like the salmon kind of poke bowl, right? I like that and one drink.
Get that for dinner.
Cukup. Yeah. So that's one. Another thing I really like is fried chicken. So any kind of fried chicken I love. And the third thing, for some reason, I like quesadillas because they're easy to eat. So again, there's a lot of options when you use on all these Grab food and Food Panda and all that. So you just take whatever is available during lunchtime.
Nice.
And enjoy with your colleagues.
Okay,
Nice.
you guys can guess what kind of price, what kind of
Poke
budget
bowl.
you can get.
Poke bowl, guys.
Yeah.
Brad, you got any more questions?
No. I think let's call it a wrap with the Luno
we'll
section.
wrap up. I think we should end with one of those rapid fire questions. We forgot to plan before this. But,
Sure, no problem.
Give me some time to think. What do you think we should ask Ross?
Rapid fire questions, put on the spot, right?
What is your... Okay, this one is more personal for crypto. What is the amount or the amount range would you say that if you achieve that amount of money, let's say in crypto, then you said, I wouldn't use the word made it, but you're like, okay, I don't need any more already.
Oh, that's tough. I don't have a specific number. For me, the goal is to accumulate enough wealth that I can generate passive income in a variety of ways that can pay for my daily expenses. So let's assume that my daily expenses now, I'm 29 years old, is about, let's say, 4 to 5K a month, right?
Monthly
Including
expense,
everything, insurance, let's say a house, car loan, whatever.
Right.
Everything included, about 4 to 5K a month. If I can generate enough wealth in crypto that the passive income that I get from that is able to pay off for my lifestyle,
Yeah.
then I've made it. I've made it. What that number is, I don't know yet. Right.
Nice.
I'll know it when I've got it, but I don't know what it is.
Well, right?
Come again, sorry?
It may shift as well, up and down. Over
Yeah, it might shift up and down. Crypto is volatile, right? So obviously, I don't just only depend on crypto. I also have, EPFs, whatever other as well. But, crypto is much more volatile. So getting that passive income can be a bit faster from crypto.
That's 300K in Anchor.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
by the way, we have a video on that.
Yes. But I can go check it out.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you so much.
Wait, one last
Yes.
question. I think you were really passionate earlier when you said, and you're very excited about crypto, as we all are, as everyone watching this is. What are you excited about when it comes to crypto? What makes you most excited about for the next 2, 3 years, 5 years?
I think crypto is like the internet when it first came out, right? It used to be dial-up, it used to be startup, it used to be slow. People didn't know how to use it. Wow, that sounds just like crypto today. Sometimes people don't know how to use it. Sometimes it's slow. They
Send your
think, why am I losing my money?
network.
Exactly, right? And so I see so much similarity. I mean, I was pretty young when the internet came into my life, right? I grew up with it. I'm a digital native, right? But I remember using, Streamix and all that. Jarring, right? Using all of that. I remember that. And I remember how fast it just grew, and suddenly it's in everybody's hands.
Yeah.
And we went from jarring to TikTok, right? Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? Today, I think crypto is at that precipice, right at the edge of where the internet first began and just boomed further. One of the greatest videos I've seen recently on YouTube was Bill Gates trying to explain the internet and the computers and the internet on one of those talk show hosts, right? And he was like, computers, you can store information. Then talk show host was like, we can do that with our discs.
David
right?
Letterman, right?
David Letterman, I think that was one, right? On the computer, you can listen to the radio. Oh, haven't you heard of a radio? We already have that, right? So he was mocking the internet in a fun way. The same way that I see people sometimes talking about crypto, right? Not understanding, I think, the potential and the value it is. That makes me excited that we're on the edge of the future of finance, right? And I think it's a very exciting place to be. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Pumped now, man.
Yeah. I have one last story I wanted to share.
Yeah.
So this recently happened. What happened was, and I think this highlights a lot of everything I've been saying about crypto, decentralization, regulation coming together as one. A lot of times it can slow things down. A lot of times people get there's a lot of pain points there. I want to share one story which I think overshadows all that pain, right?
Nice.
What happened was, so sometimes Luno has been around in Malaysia for several years, right? Even before we were regulated, we were already offering services to Malaysians. And at that time, sometimes people just downloaded and used the app and maybe bought crypto at a super cheap price, in 2016, 17, and they forgot about their passwords and all that. Because they didn't know any better, right? And so there were some people, there was this one auntie, she's much older, she's a widow, right? She doesn't have a job as far as I'm aware. And she had done that. She had downloaded Luno, bought some crypto, forgotten about it.
Hey.
And then we got in touch with her and, we helped her reset her password. And you can't do that, if you MetaMask cold wallet, you forget, it's gone, right? It's gone. You just forget about, exactly, it's gone, right? But in Luno, we can help you do that. That's the power of centralization, right? We helped her reset the password, got back her account, right? Full access. I can't disclose the exact amount of money that she suddenly discovered was there all this time that had grown over time, but it was a life-changing amount of money.
Wow.
You know what she did? She broke down and she cried. And she said, thank you so much to Luno. And I was like, what a wonderful story. And I wish more people could hear stories like that of like really life-changing moment. Thanks to things like Luno, centralization, and crypto coming together. Right? All of it coming together. So it's stories like that keep me going every time I read negative comments about centralization from DeFi people that convince me that, I think Luno's doing the right thing, that we're helping the mass market get into crypto.
Yes.
And wonderful stories like that which really change people's lives. Yeah.
I mean, if the decentralized degenerates want to spread their gospel, you have to do something like Luno. And to be honest, I won't say I'm on the fence, but I'm for Luno, I'm for centralization, I'm for decentralization personally.
A very good point. I met someone who was a pre-seed Ethereum investor.
Yeah.
Pre-seed Ethereum,
GG.
This guy was coding arbitrage bots for Mt. Gox. I was like, to be in his presence, I felt like a worm. I felt like nothing. You know what he said? He said, he looked at me and my boss, he said, you guys are doing the right thing. You guys are trying to educate and bring the mass market into crypto. right? In DeFi is great. I mean, I'm not talking bad about DeFi. DeFi has its benefits, no doubt about that. But to bring the mass market, to bring everybody in, to create a proper space for everybody to learn about crypto, you know, you do have to consider some level of regulation.
And that's the irony, right? You need centralization for worldwide adoption.
Exactly. So it's a balance. It's just like holding skills in balance.
To make this irony come full circle, you mentioned wanting to give us like a Luno referral code to offer to our viewers on the DeFiRL channel, but it's fine.
Happy to offer a referral code. Okay, so speaking about referral codes, Luno is always happy for people to come and join our platform. For any new people who have never used the Luno account before, you're completely new to crypto, or you've got friends who are new to crypto, and you share this podcast with them, there'll be a link in the description with a description of the promo code that you can use, and just make your first purchase of crypto, and you will get some free Bitcoin.
Free magic return. Internet
free
money.
Bitcoin.
Nice.
For our new customers.
So with that, you know, Ross, thanks for coming on to the pod. The next time you're here, hopefully there's
hopefully Bitcoin reaches 6 figure.
Yeah, sure.
All 9 coins, right?
Hopefully. We'll see. Time will tell.
Time will tell. Okay, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the pod. And yeah, you know, if you like this kind of thing, share it with your friends and all that. Like, comment, subscribe, the usuals. And
man.
We'll see you in the next one. Peace.